AI is a tool. It ain't gonna replace me. It can't think like me. It doesn't have the experiences I have. It doesn't have the intuitiveness to change a design based on my client's look and feel that only I would know because I've worked with them or because I know them. I use the AI to help enhance what I already do.
All right. Once again, thank you for joining me. Calling these, I do a weekly newsletter called Remarkable Monday. And so I'm connecting with creators that I feel like are absolutely remarkable in their own regard. But the reason why I started this newsletter is because I feel like sometimes when you're like pivoting and creating the new version of you, you gotta
Mm.
people who have been through it, done it,
Multiple
and
times.
they've got the battle scars to prove that, hey, it's possible. So, I've seen you in the trenches. I mean, let me tell you about how I first heard your name. I was working I think I'm gonna keep names out of it, but I was working for a gospel artist at the time, and, they needed an e-commerce store.
Mhm.
We're trying to do it internally. And I was like, "Well, why don't you just call Nick? Because that's who did the last one, right?" And I think they ended up calling you.
I'm trying to
Uh,
think who it is now. Shoot.
uh, uh, we'll talk about it
Yeah,
after.
right. I
Yes,
got you.
but, um, so essentially, that's when I kinda, like, first heard your name, floating around because your reputation had just preceded you, like, everybody just spoke so highly of you. And then, I
Keep it that
think
way.
somehow, I mean, look, you do a great job of it. And
Thank you,
somehow,
man.
some
Thank you.
way, during the pandemic, I started following you, and then I think I just randomly, like, DM'd you. You were always just super kind and approachable, and, of course, your resume runs deep. And so, then I just literally just started, like, taking notes, like, as I saw posts to do. And I think you like helped me out one time. I was like, dude, what is this thing, the metaverse? Like, how are
Oh,
people?
yeah. Oh, man, I
Yeah,
forgot about that. Yeah, that was a whole
yes,
world for a time.
yes. And you always put me on game. So naturally, when I was thinking about like conversations with creators, like people who just literally figure things out, and you are just almost ahead of your time all the time. I feel like I'm just always creating, always doing things. I felt like it was natural to reach out, and I thank you for saying yes.
Man, thank you for the opportunity, man. I now that you said that, I remember that whole time, pandemic was kind of fresh and we were still trying to figure out a way to stay connected with our community at the time. And the metaverse was it. It's like, okay, we can't be in a classroom together, but we going to be in this digital classroom together. I remember that, man. Yeah, man.
So,
Took me back a couple years.
oh yeah,
In fact, I still have the Oculus over there on the other side on my equipment rack. It's over there. It's collecting dust now, but it's there.
I mean, it's there. I mean,
A lot of
who
memories in there.
maybe the metaverse will make a comeback. Who knows? It was before its time, maybe.
It might.
Um, so let's take it all the way back. I want to know who was Nick as a kid? Because, like, when did you realize you saw the world a little differently? Because I feel like for creative people, there's a moment when you realize, hold up, like people see the world a certain way, and I pick up on things just differently.
Mhm.
Good, bad, and different, but it's different. And so, when did you have that realization?
I honestly I can't say it was when I was a kid. This was somewhere maybe approaching high school. So if we going back to childhood. My I want to say my creative influence as a whole, man, where where do I start? Start with my father. My father's an architect. He's been an architect forever. Um, Born and raised in Philly. As I got older and driving around the car with him, he would say, "Yeah, we did that one. We did that one." And I'm like, "You did what?" He's like, "Oh yeah, my firm. I designed the plans for this building, this school, this." So I'm driving around the city and I'm seeing stuff that my dad drew. the world we're in now is all digital. So you got AutoCAD, probably another world of software for real estate and stuff like that. I used to carry my dad's 700-pound architectural blueprints up the steps. He would come home from work and have like 4 or 5 rolls of blueprints, and these are 4 or 5 feet wide, wrapped up in like a thick ball. He's like, "Here, take these up to the office." I grew up in West Philly, but we had 3 floors in the crib, and
Yes.
his office was up in the attic. I used to
Yes.
put them things on my shoulder, take them upstairs, and he would always ask to roll out one. So I would pop the rubber bands off, roll out one on it. He had big, still up there. The table's still up there. Big architectural table, lay it out. And I would just look at it like, man, what's all these lines? What's all these graphs? These notes? His handwriting was terrible, but he knew what he was writing. He was writing his
Was it
notes for
all
the con
caps?
all caps. All
Yes.
caps in
Yes.
either like a blue or red, um, something that stand out
Mhm.
on the page for the contractors to get it the next day, whatever the corrections were, measurements, all that kind of, like, I know now because I've worked with real estate people, but at the time, 5, 6, 7 years old, I'm like, man, what is all this stuff? Like, you got this attic up here with all these blueprints, and like, I don't know where it's going until I start getting in the car with him and you start driving around. Between that and I would say my love for music, I've just always been artistically just inclined, I would say. And since we talking about childhood, me and my boys I grew up with, we would compare our drawings together. And, early childhood, we were drawing like the Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
X-Men, stuff
Yeah.
from cartoon. And I mean, I honestly don't know, man. Like, I gotta attribute the journey to God. I can't say that I did it, or, dad was an architect. My grandmother could paint anything that she ever saw in her entire life, like to scale. She would paint to scale buildings, shadows, creeks, different landscapes, and she would have every detail in there, from the reflections off the lake to a bird chirping to fruit falling from a tree. Like, every detail of what she saw, she could paint it. So I don't know if it's a genetic thing between her being on my mother's side, my dad. I don't know anything about my older grandparents, great grandparents, what they did, but I was just always in it. Like, I used to play the piano. We had a piano in the house growing up. I asked for keyboards for Christmas a couple years, and then I would ask for pencil sets to keep drawing. Middle school, going into high school, we had the Vibe magazine, XXL mag, the Slam magazines. Me and my boy used to draw the Slam magazine cover to see who could redraw the best cover. And I just kind of stuck with it, man. It's a love that I have. Like, I just like creating stuff.
And I noticed that even when you create now, Philly shows up all the time.
Hey, that's
And
home, man.
yeah, so like I feel like for me, interestingly enough, I was born in New Jersey,
Okay.
I was raised in Georgia, and just lived in a few places. But I feel like in my work and what informs kind of like I would say the ethos of what I do, definitely Atlanta has played such a role in that, particularly I feel like what how people say it's like the cradle of the civil rights movement.
Mm. Hmm.
So, for you, I wonder, how does Philly show up? Because I see it visually, but, like, what does that represent for you? And, like, what did the city, what did your upbringing, what did it do for you? And, like, what did it make you into as an artist?
So Nikki. And
Mhm, yes.
for those of you who don't know Nikki, business partner, she's best friend, whatever you want to call it. We have been locked in for years now. Nikki used to call me the dark artist. She would take my work and be like, "Why is this so dark? Why is this so gritty?" And I'm like, just I think that's just what naturally draws me. Now, not that Philly is the dark, gritty city, but I mean, we literally have a mascot named Gritty. So it is it is what it is. I think Philly comes out in me where it's like, now I like that modern minimal look, but I'm gonna put some grunge in there, some texture,
Yeah.
maybe like a half tone, or I'll take a concrete. background and just blend it subtly into just to give it some feel to it so it's not so flat. Think, man, because Philly, this, it's home. I've been to Atlanta several times. I traveled around the country. I go to this place, that place. I'm like, man, I can live here. But not until recently. Let me say this. Not until because I've traveled most of my professional career. Not until recently would I be like, oh man, I don't want to go back home unless I'm going to an island or something. Because when
That'll do it.
you stamp a passport, you got palm trees and you got unlimited food and drinks, and then you come home down that escalator saying "Welcome to Philadelphia." That's not a good feeling all the time. You feel me? That's not always a good feeling. But I will say, I love home, man. A lot of people, like go online like, "Oh man, get out of Philly! Don't move here! Don't come here! I can't wait to leave." I think I would leave, but I think at some point I would come back because this is just the core. This is the heart. I've been all around the city. I got friends and connections everywhere. It's not like I can't go to this neighborhood. It's like I've been there and I know which ones are good. I know which ones are bad. I know which ones you probably shouldn't be in after a certain hour. Don't be on this block. But that's just home. Like that's home to me. So I think it's because I've lived here, I've caught the L. I've been, public transportation in high school. I've seen people not really, get off at the stop they wanted to get off, and they were escorted off by a couple gentlemen.
Escorted.
I gotta keep it light. I gotta keep it light. I've seen a lot here, good and bad, and that's just home. And I think home just comes out in my work, and it's thus far it hasn't been a bad reflection, so to
Yeah.
say.
Well, I feel like you have to have something that anchors you. Like, there are some people you look at their work and you know it's them because it has their signature on it.
I've heard that.
And I think it's important for people, especially if you're a creator, I think
Hmm.
you have to have something that marks you. I feel like there are, like, even we talked about music, there are certain people, when I hear their voice, it's I could hear them in a context that I'm like, "Oh, I'm listening to a movie soundtrack or whatever." It's something about the way they tell a story through song or how they do it.
Yep.
You know it's them.
That's
And
that's branding for you.
yeah, and there's and I love how, speaking of branding, I love how, I forgot who it was who said it, but it's like your brand is, what people say about you when you're not in the room.
Mhm.
And and I feel like brands make people feel a certain way.
That
Uh
I was about to say that. Brand is the feeling that you get. You know, it's not the surface level things. It's not um prime example. A couple months ago, rest in peace. D'Angelo couldn't make a tour date or something, and Maxwell stepped in for him. Next couple of days, you start seeing Maxwell content. My man was dancing, like
Yes.
dropped down to his knees, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's off brand for Maxwell. We know Maxwell, he just gonna stand somewhere and serenade you all night. My man was dancing. It's like, what are we doing, right? But it didn't give us a bad feeling. It was just like, okay, my man he's a little up there in his age and he can still get down. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Got some WD-40 on the knees.
Yes.
The the feeling that you get from hearing a certain person, like if I'm sitting down, I want to be in a relaxed mood, I'm gonna put on Sade. You know that feeling that like a best of Sade album is going to give you. You want to get a little excited, you might put on I don't know. I don't want to sound old here. Get Rich or Die Trying. You put on DMX. You put on something that's going to get you ready to work out or something. Like it's all about the feeling you get when you listen to a certain music artist in that aspect of music. I've tried to exude that same kind of thing with my work. Shout out to my boy Justin, Justin Foster.
Yes.
Don't
One
know where he's from. He's been all over the place, but me and him have had this conversation a lot, like about each other's work. I know as soon as I see Justin's work, as soon as I'll be scrolling on
Yes.
Instagram or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know Justin did this.
Mhm.
Shout out to my girl. I don't want to mess her name up, Jalen. I don't even know where she's based out of. Jalen, I can't call her name right, the rest of her screen name right now, but she designs for Todd Delaney and a couple other major
Got it.
gospel artists. I know her work as soon as I see it. It's clean. It's like it's modern. A little bit of AI mixed in. I've heard that about me over time. Like, oh man, as soon as I see this clean font, I know Nick did it. As soon as I see this kind of layout, I know Nick, and I didn't know that for a while. I didn't know I had a like because I don't like being boxed in. I always try to push the boundaries on whatever I'm doing. But if I know I'm in a flow and I know that okay, this kind of style is working, I know I know my clients. I try to get to know them before I work with them. Like, okay, they might like this. They might like this. Let me test them with this. Send this over. See how they. Oh, I love it. Okay, cool. I'm going to stay around that style. I might veer off a little bit, but I know exactly what you like. It's been a gift and a curse because people like what they see from me, but in my head sometimes I'm like, wait, you knew I did that? Why? What was the telltale sign that because I don't again I don't like being boxed in, but it can be a good thing when repetitively people are coming back to you, and that's been one of the things that's I've been able to honor over my years. I'm going into year 14 now, being a full time entrepreneur, working for myself, solopreneur, whatever you want to call it. I've had pretty much repeat clients during this time.
That's
Had some
awesome.
one-offs here and there, but majority of my clients, even if it's a one-off situation, they'll say, "Hey, I had a good experience. I'm coming back to that guy." They all come back. So that's one thing about the branding aspect I can say that I like because when you're building a good brand, people are going to come back to you. It's not going to be, I worked with this guy one time. I forgot his name. What's his like? No, I want you to remember working
Mhm,
with me and stuff. Like I want you to remember the feeling and the experience that you got when you sent me an email and I wrote you right back, or you asked me for a revision and said, I know you only gave me two revisions, but can you just change this one more thing? How much does it cost? And I'm like, I don't worry about it. I got it.
mhm.
Because I want you to tell somebody else, like, hey, I work with this amazing guy. I don't know what he's going to charge you, but you should reach out to him. Like that's the kind of branding I want. I want my name referred, so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Part of me you touched on AI, we will get there because I was peeping you're helping people out with the prompts, so we gonna get there.
All right.
I wanna talk about how you got into, like, just doing your own thing as an entrepreneur, because what did you do beforehand, and how did you know, "Okay, it's time for me to step out, do the thing," and I'm curious if you can remember all this. I'm curious how that factored in because 'cause you're a dad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So,
sir.
how does that factor into, like, "Wait a minute, I got bills, I got
I got
responsibilities,
responsibilities.
I
Yes, sir.
got things to think about, I ain't got time to be playing around with people asking for
Mm-hmm.
don't wanna, pay an invoice." Like, how did you process at that time that it was time for you to make the move?
Oof. Uh, so 2006, my son was born. My oldest son. Around that time, I was kind of in between jobs. I was working for, oh man, over the years, like Hertz, Best Buy. I worked for a mailroom for a medical facility before. I had some jobs, and I was in between jobs at the time, and I started working with my boy Khalif, who I'm still partnered with today, 20 something years later. Um, he was an entrepreneur from the age of, I think, 18, 19. So he had already been doing his own thing already. And I don't know if you know this name. Do you know the name Urban Roundup or U Gospel?
Yes, uh-huh.
That's Khalif Towns. So at the time, that company was Urban Roundup. And we were one of two leading gospel email marketing companies at the time. Because if you think back to 2006, 2007, going up to 20, maybe 10 or 11, email was king for marketing purposes. Had social media, but there was MySpace back then. Instagram didn't come around until 2011, 2012. So you needed to send out emails. And we had, a couple 100,000 people that we were sending emails to. So I worked for him initially then, and I had my taste of entrepreneurship where, this guy that was my age was paying me to design and set up these emails.
Wow, that's
And yeah,
crazy.
so
I
all
love
your
it.
major artists like Ty Tribbett, Ty Scott, the record label, like they would come to us and spend thousands of dollars, and I was designing and coding emails. I had no idea how to code or any of that. Like everything I do now is self-taught. I don't know how to do anything. I just, between trial and error and even back that far, YouTube. Like, how do I do this? All right, cool. Go look it up somewhere. And so prior the year prior to, which would be 2011, I was working at a radio station. Not going to name the company, but I was working at a radio station, and
You guess it if it was local to
yeah,
Philly,
yeah, 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 you can.
do
I'm
all
like, all
that.
right, I don't care. It was Radio One,
Yeah.
okay. I was their digital coordinator, so I was responsible for working with the sales side and the programming side for whatever campaign it was. Whether it was the email campaign, one of my staples was doing design work for this Beyonce State Farm contest. So I had like State Farm as a client, essentially, even though it was going through the radio station, I had direct contact with them, and I had to set up like this contest to win Beyonce tickets, and I had to figure it out because I didn't know how to use the software. I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this, but I guess I'll go figure it out. It made it work, and it was one of our best promotions. I have spoken about this date before, so I cannot forget it. July 23rd, 2012 was my last day of work. I got a voicemail an exact month prior to. I was at Hershey Park with my kids. Hey, bro, we just got off the call. They're letting all you guys go next month. Sorry, what? There were 16 of us. It was 16 markets. Call
Mm.
them back. Everybody who had my position in all the markets were being let go on July 23rd. In between that time, me and three others were offered to keep our positions with no increase in pay, and I had to be in Manhattan 3 out of the 5 days a week. I said, yeah, no increase in pay, and I'm taking on the job of the other 12 people that are no longer there. So I have to manage the work that I'm already doing and then manage other cities. Yeah, absolutely not. So I left. Now, before that, I was already doing some work on the side. I did skip over a stint in my pathway there. I did music for 10 years. I had a studio, I did production, I made beats, Kanye, Timberland, Hit Boy, Carvin and Ivan, Philly, by the way. Carvin and Ivan, shout out to them. They were all my influences. I would go buy their drum kits. I was using Fruity Loops, which is now like FL Studio. I had a MPC. Me and my boy Badair, like we were making beats together, and like I thought I wanted to be a producer. And my mother bought me a digital camera when my son was born, just to take pictures of them. So one of my artists came to the studio to record. I'm saying my artist. This is just a regular hood dude from Philly was rapping. I don't even remember who it was. He saw my camera one day on down in the studio, and he was like, "Bro, can you do my single cover artwork?" I was like, "No, not really." He's like, "Why? You got a camera?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know how to design. Like, I don't. What are you
Get
talking about?"
out of here.
This was 2000. This might have been '05, '06. I'm like, "Bro, I don't know how to do that. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Bro, just take a picture and find a program to put some words on it." Took a picture of him, opened up Microsoft Paint. That was my first artwork. Did the same thing with do you know Lonnie Hunter?
Yeah.
I worked for him for years. He was a choir director at my church, and I was his booking manager for like I don't know how many years. Did the same thing. He wanted to do a single. Like, bro, I don't know how to design. What are you talking about? Picture, Microsoft Paint. I said, okay. And then fast forward, I met Khalif, and he gave me Photoshop. Here we are today.
Yeah.
That
It's
was it.
always the
Khalif gave me
middle.
Photoshop, and I said,
Yes.
oh, this is what I need to design? Oh, I'll figure it out. And
It's
at
awesome.
some point, there was a crossroads. My my computer crashed. I lost 700 original beats that I made. I lost every recording from every artist that I work with. All my backup hard drives, it was a wrap. Lost everything. At that time, I was already making more money with the graphics than I was with the music. People wanted to come, they didn't want to pay to record. I'm like, bruh, I literally built a studio in my basement to do this. You don't want to pay for the time you come in to record here? What's wrong with you? Crazy? And I was making more money with the graphics. So when that happened, I said, all right, not rebuilding the studio. I'm letting the music go. I'm going all in on this.
Wow.
And that has been the case since then. That happened in the end of '08 is when that happened. And I went full time with just learning design. I was already um doing websites in HTML, Adobe Dreamweaver. We didn't have any, Squarespace. There was no Wix. There was no do it yourself website where you can just poof and the website is there. You had to design and then code it. And that
Yes.
started with learning how to code the emails and how to like hyperlink a picture. And I'm like, okay, so I can just take an email size and just make a full website out of this, you know, concept here, making emails. And that's how I got here, man.
That
And
is amazing.
short explanation.
Mhm.
But
I think though, for people who might be listening and waiting for like this big moment to be the thing to say, "Oh, it's time for me to step out." Yes, I think a layoff will do it.
right,
But I
yeah.
think sometimes it's the small ask of like, "Hey, can you do this artwork for me?" And it's that's
No idea where that was gonna take me.
yes.
Because
And to just be to lean in to the idea that you might be picking up a new skill just because of the ask. And I think I don't know if you are proud of the artwork that you did early on, you
I'm
know?
glad I don't have it. I'm glad that now I'm also sad because my son's baby pictures are on that hard drive on that. I don't have any of that stuff. I was the only one that had it. I didn't know about. There was no cloud back then.
God, no.
Like I didn't have any mentors or anybody who was doing that at the time who knew anything about that kind of stuff. So I didn't have backup hard drives for the backup, and whatever I had, that's what I operated on. The I don't think it was necessarily a moment for me, but I had already had some proof because I was doing a little bit of design work on the side at the time while I was still doing the music. And I said, okay, if I can make this much on the side, what if I just did this all the time? And, you know, when the studio crashed, that's what I did. I said, okay, I'm going to go all in on this. And I mean, big moment. No, it was just like, okay, my son is here. I got to make this happen. So I like that's it. I don't like I can't explain like another big thing that made this certain like click happen other than I want to say when I got the email that confirmed that I wasn't going to get a salary raise. I think that was the first time that in my adult life where I recognized a situation where I wasn't being valued because during that time it was a regular 9 to 5. I would go to work at 6 a.m., get all of my stuff done before 9, before all the riffraff came into the office, and I was getting my side work done while I was at work. And when they let me go, it's like, do y'all know what I do for y'all? Like the skills that I just had to pick up because y'all needed it at the time. And that was my first realization of, oh, corporate don't care.
Mm,
Because what I found out was, in fact, I'm not gonna put that out there. I'm not gonna put that information out there. But there was a bonus involved as to why our positions were eliminated. Someone wanted a
wow.
bonus, and our salaries were in the way. That was my first instance where I was like, "Oh, corporate America really does not care, and they value based on the higher ups." This is back, So I said, "Okay, cool. Let me see if I can make more money doing this thing for myself." And I've not had one desire to go back since that date.
Now, I'm curious. Um, you probably have had a wealth of clients throughout the year. Let's talk about like dream clients. Like when you got the call, you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I cannot believe I'm about." And then let's talk about nightmare clients, like people. We ain't gotta name names, but I'm curious to like for people who might be looking at your journey and you've got the again the battle scars to prove that you ain't new to this, you true to this. Uh,
Hmm.
what has it been like dealing with the dream and nightmare clients?
Uh, a dream client for me, which never thought was going to happen. Kevin Hart.
Uh,
Shout out to my boy Q Deezy, who came to the radio station. I worked with him before I left. We built a relationship up. If you are, I'm not sure who's listening, but if you were in the Philly area and you had a radio in the mid to late '90s, you heard Q Deezy on the radio. Um, he left for a short time with the LA, came back. When he came back, I was at the station and me and him got cool. Q grew up with Kevin Hart and all his friends, and he knows all of them. So he made the connection with his manager Wayne. And in 2022, Wayne just texted me one day, and I looked at my phone like, Wayne, what do you need? He's like, hey man, Kev needs a couple designs for the tour. Can you? Can I? Of course. Like that would. Absolutely, and that graphic is on the front page of my website to this day. I asked him, I was like, "Hey, can I put this on my website?" He's like, "Man, yeah, absolutely." So I think he would be a dream client. Now, prior to that, my dream client, and let me start by saying this: I never really had a dream client list. I always just wanted to be better. I wanted the clients to come to me, and I ended up happening organically because of the industry I was in. Tasha Cobbs. I designed and managed her website for years. I would still be. She's told me that even recently, if the label would have allowed it. The label that she went to and I can't remember the year, it might have been 2018, 2019. They wanted to take over everything. But for like 4 or 5 years, I worked with her through
uh-huh.
everything. Justin, Justin Foster was doing her artwork for her covers. I did her website. I was doing like marketing stuff for her. She's amazing.
Yes. Shout out to Tasha Cobbs
Oh
Leonard, by the
yeah.
way.
Shout
Yes.
out to Tosh. Shout out to Kev. Nightmare client. I shall not name. Um, in my now, how many years has it been? It's all 19 years almost now of designing. I have only processed 2 refunds. I don't want to. It's hard to declare them as nightmares. Because for me, like a nightmare client is going to just keep asking you for revision after revision. They're never going to like it. Hey, can you add this? Can you do like that's a nightmare? It's like, what are you talking about? Bad client though. I had a client. I did everything for this guy. Right? He needed branding done. He needed a website. He needed a flyer done. Loved everything. I had all the approvals, and someone else came in. I have no idea who this person was. Came in. I know what happened, but they came in and said, "Oh no, this looks like you rushed this. We want a refund." I'm like, no, I have all the emails and everything, the text messages to confirm your client loved everything I did. Can I speak with them?" Person would not speak to me, wouldn't take a call, wouldn't confirm who this new person was contacting me. They just processed a refund. So I did my due diligence. I took all those screenshots, all those emails, I uploaded them to the portal, and I won the case.
Uh,
I think that's a nightmare for anyone in the creative field. And I've had some people that I've kind of coached indirectly over the years, asking me questions and stuff like that. And I'm getting more into that now on my YouTube channel, trying to help younger creators or other creators avoid obstacles that I went through. You have to document everything. You have to take like you keep an email chain. Like I tell people, like don't have conversations over the phone or anything like that. You need something on paper to where you can prove in the instance that this happens to you. And recently, over the summer, I had a client um, where not necessarily a nightmare, but when you're working with someone who's handling everything and it's like it's too much, communication falls short, and they wanted a refund because just the whole thing just didn't work out. Process the refund. It's all good. Those are the only two I can really say. I don't know. I'm trying talking through this with you now. I'm trying to think of a nightmare client, and uh, it, I I may have blocked it out because it was so bad. But I'm trying to think of like what would a nightmare client be? Because one thing that I've always tried to do is I try to be selective with who I work with.
Why is that?
So because I want to avoid those nightmares, I want to avoid those headaches. And my sister taught me this. My sister is really well inclined with business and things like that. And she's always like, I've had an extremely supportive family structure. My sister was like, "Hey, start researching your clients before you work with them." So when I get an email now, I'll try to go look them up, type their name in, go look up the social media, see what they're posting. If they have a website already, just try to get an idea of who I'm working with before I actually start working with them, so I don't have a nightmare client. And it's hard to tell because you can't really take surface level things like that. But I think for me, having bad experiences or having a nightmare client is just a lesson because now you know what to look for and what not to do when working with the next client. It's just like it's an experience, and I've had experiences over the years where like I've had clients ducking paying me. I've had clients not provide everything I need, but they're like, "Hey, where's the final result?" And I was like, "Hey, I emailed you 3 weeks ago for things that I needed to complete this." So it's just like I don't think I've had any necessarily nightmare clients, just little things here and there where maybe communication gets lost. But good clients, yeah, I've had several of those. I've had clients that I still had from 2006 that are still working with me.
Mhm.
So that part I really stand on that because um doing this for so long, dude, I've gotten so many emails and inquiries saying like, "Hey, this graphic designer just bailed on me. They changed their number, they blocked my
Mm.
email. Can you take this on?" And I don't understand how they do it because it's like all you have in this industry really is your name. So if you start burning clients and taking money and disappearing, like it's like how do you plan on sustaining this business model for X amount of time? So that's one thing I like that I'm able to say that I've had clients for so many years and they keep coming back. And if I were to look at a table of like, okay, I started working with you on this date, like I've made this much money off of you. Wow, like you must really like working with me. I like that, man.
I'm curious to know, like now, it seems like the game in terms of design, um, I mean, it's changing so rapidly. I think I remember what 2023 at the latest, it feels like, when I think we first started hearing about like Chat GPT. And then now everybody's a designer.
Everybody.
Everybody's a vibe coder. You know,
Oh man.
so and no shade, to everybody who's out here, making it happen.
No, no shade
But
at all.
I
Get
feel
to it.
like there is a level of, well, I wonder, do you feel like you are at risk of being replaced by, don't laugh too hard.
Good, good luck.
It and so we hear your reply, but and this is the reason why I'm asking this question this way, because I feel like there's so much hype, and I think justifiably so in terms of how rapid, artificial intelligence, although it's not artificial nor intelligent, but like these language models, are learning from creatives or learning from other written content that's out there and understanding how to, make things better, parse information, all the good things. But I think sometimes creatives can look at the advancements of technology and think, man, like I may have a hard time, especially even entering this industry as a self-employed creative. I might have a hard time competing with these tools that, you can just put in a prompt,
Yep.
graphic,
Get the whole layout right in front of you
yeah.
in a
So
matter of seconds.
how do you not, find yourself in this mind game of feeling like you're competing with the bots?
Uh, we had me and Nikki had one of our meetups in 2023, and I said this on the panel, and I remember it almost word for word, but I'll just give you the beginning. AI is a tool. It ain't gonna replace me. It can't think like me. It doesn't have the experiences I have. It doesn't have the intuitiveness to change a design based on my clients like look and feel that only I would know because I've worked with them or because I know them. I use the AI to help enhance what I already do. There was a time where I said, "Oh man, Canva? What?
Mhm.
Canva designer? You're a graphic designer and use Canva only? Get
Yeah,
out of here."
and
I
now
find I have a Canva Pro account. I use it.
yeah,
Now I don't
yeah,
use it to design. I use
uh-huh.
it for quick things. I use it for, text quotes, maybe doing a quick layout for like a PDF booklet here and there. But you're not going to just sign up for Canva Pro and think you about to take me out of business. Good luck.
Now
You are
take
not going to take an event that requires vinyl prints on windows and wraps and life size book renders and all of that and fly and ads and create that and go prompt it out in chat gpt. Like, you need someone to do that. Now, do I use it as a tool for my imaging? Maybe. Do I use it to get me a package that I could that can word better than maybe I feel like thinking about at the time? Absolutely. Have I used chat gpt for design? Yes and no. When I need a specific style of a background or something like that, or a frame that I'm looking for to deliver a mock up to a client, like a concept, I'll use ChatGPT. And I'm giving all y'all, whoever's listening, I'm giving y'all some game real quick.
yes,
I use AI to use AI. So I will go to chat, say, hey, I need you to deliver me a professional level design prompt for X. I need it to do this. I need it to do this, this, this. Then you give it parameters on the back end. I don't want it to look like this. I don't want it to sound like AI wrote it or gave me this idea. I don't want the like you have to mold it essentially. Just the prompt. It's not the design. It's not the final result. This is just the prompt that you're giving it. Hit enter. Chat will do all the research it needs to do, then give you this golden prompt. You read that over, see if it's, to your liking, then copy and paste that in and see what design you come up with. What I've seen a lot of people do, they'll just try to think up like, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? They'll try to prompt it out themselves. Use the AI to prompt to give you the right prompt to use is one of the tricks that I've used. So I use it to, do a mock-up of someone's logo on a t-shirt or a mobile app, something like that, or a vehicle wrap. Hey, chat, or I've used Midjourney, Gemini, which is now what is it, Nano Banana. There's so much AI out here. I've used those to give me renders and stuff for my clients. Do I think at any point in the near future that what I do is going to be replaced? Absolutely not. Don't think so. I'll use it as a tool until I feel like if I feel like I can go prompt out something that I would do, then I'll be scared. But I've intentionally tried to recreate stuff that I've made, like flyers and stuff like that. It just can't do it. It's not there
Mhm.
yet. Now
Yeah.
it's advanced. Believe me. It's like, oh, that's a little scary. It can do that. But yeah, I'm not scared of that.
I think though there's another piece that has to be remembered, and that is the psychology of the buyer or the psychology of your customer. Every customer is not looking to do the work themselves. And whether it's a skill deficit that they're trying to avoid by bringing on a designer, or also I feel like sometimes it's just time. People just do not have time to, if you're thinking, oh, I'm a event promoter, I'm a whatever, like I'm not gonna spend 2 hours or even 15 minutes prompting, you know, chat GPT, mid journey, and trying to figure this thing out. Like the
Yeah.
psychology of the buyer is, I know that I've seen the work that you do,
Mhm.
and sometimes even I feel like when you are a creator, harkening back to what we talked about earlier, when you have a signature style and somebody's looking to change up their style or they need this professional look that they know you can achieve, they're coming to you. They don't want to spend the time to figure it out.
Taking us back to the earlier part of the conversation, that's me and Justin. Justin has asked me to design things for him, and I've asked him to do things for me because it's like I don't want to do it for myself, but I know how you design and you have a good eye for it. And he always, we're all like every other year we hit each other up like, hey, bro, I need this. Blah, blah, blah. Can we make this happen? I think, and I fully agree with you. It comes down to the psychology, the thinking of the end client, and it's a lot of people. ChatGPT is free. They have a free model. You can go in there and get it, but if you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to talk to chat, if you don't know how to prompt effectively and efficiently, it, it's just like you said, it's that time and effort and learning curve of I'm not doing this, but I know this person can do it. And that's the world that we're in. Everyone wants things quick. This is why AI is evolving so fast. Like November 2022 is when ChatGPT was released. From where it was then to where it is now, think about the video renders. Last year, or like maybe a year and a half ago now, I don't know if you remember that Will Smith AI video where he looked like Hitch. He was all distorted, but it was
Yeah,
from a
yeah.
prompt, right? Now I could prompt him out. You wouldn't know if he was sitting right behind me.
Mhm.
I could record myself in the video, prompt up, hey, put Will Smith next to me, and make it look like we're having a conversation. You would not know that it wasn't him sitting right there. In just a year and a half's time, that's where AI is. So it's like the progressive track of it is could give you some pause if you're a creator. Like I've been on threads, I've seen viral posts where photographers are like pissed about AI because of what people are able to do now. Even myself, like you talked about vibe coding. I've been trying to figure out how I can create something where, I'm a photographer, but if I can create a digital photo shoot for you and you don't have to meet me somewhere, like, hey, just take a pic with your cell phone real quick and I'll put you in whatever clothes I want, whatever photo shoot style you're looking for the day. You want a headshot for LinkedIn? All right, cool. I'm gonna prompt that out. Just give me a headshot. I'll make you look good. That's a world we're in now where that's like a possibility. So
I think that's a great concept, virtual photo shoots, but keep going, yeah.
I'm not the first one. I've seen people talking about it. It's been a thing. What was it? Last year, the year before, when the Lenza app came out, and everyone had these digital looks of themselves. You had to pay like $5 for it, and everyone did it. It went viral. That
Yes.
was the first rendition of it. It's like, oh, I just had to upload and turn my head a couple times in the app, and then all of a sudden, it gave me 16 different looks that I could be in. I think that was one of the first like viral moments of that. But now people are intentionally trying to create digital photo shoots to take away from, you know, booking a photo shoot and booking a studio. Then you got to book if it's a, makeup artist involved, a hairstylist for the ladies. You got to book, this it's for some people it's too much because we're in that world of quick, quick, fast. I need this done now. I want it like I need it done yesterday in some instances. Some people would rather just upload a photo to a website versus booking a photo shoot with a real photographer and then waiting for them to edit the photos. And it's like, so I'm trying to think ahead of the game to like what's possible. And I think that's one of the areas where it could be possible. But what AI is doing, I don't know if it's more so intentionally trying to replace things or just simplify some of our processes, which in the end, it's hurting jobs because, people are losing their jobs daily to AI, but the other end is making it more convenient for people. So it's like, what is what is that balance? As a creative, again, it could give you some like, oh man, should I start thinking about some other areas or some other things that would like ways that I can be adding value to where I can't be replaced by AI. But getting into the industry, like if I were talking to somebody today that's like, oh, I want to try out graphic design, like, and then you've got, you know, person on the left shoulder, like, AI can do all of that stuff now. And then I'm coming in on the right shoulder, like, oh yeah, no, it can't. So that's where I stand with it. I think AI can do a lot of things. You can get by with it. I don't think it's fully replacing, an actual creator.
Yeah. I am curious, for people that might be just thinking of and finding themselves in the pivot, finding themselves, they're known for one thing, having to pivot, switch for another. I mean, we see headlines now, it's like more job seekers than actual positions in the marketplace. For people who might find themselves having to literally, they might be in that studio where the artist is saying, "Hey, can you make this graphic for me?" But it might be presenting in a different way, you know? Um, how what advice would you give to them as they're trying to find the next step, as they're trying to, like, just literally keep their head above water, take one step at a time? Because as an entrepreneur, I can only imagine there are some months where you're like, "Oh, we good." And then other months you might be, I mean, on a wing and a prayer. So,
Hmm.
what advice do you give people who are literally just trying to figure it out?
Uh, First thing I would say is don't overthink it. And especially creatives, we tend to get stuck in our head sometimes. We tend to think too much because of our creative brains. We're looking for all possibilities, and when you're in a pivotal moment where you need to make a decision, it can be done with haste and scarcity, like anxiety, like things start kicking in. Like, okay, what if it doesn't work? Like we're just wired that way. What is the worst outcome could happen? We think first versus, what if it works? What if I do like actually do this? And I know I've been giving a lot of shout outs, but shout out to Nehemiah, my boy Neo Deviso. He has a quote. I don't know where he got it from, but he says it, so I think it's his now. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Mhm,
So why would you go do something and then not give it your best effort? So I would say to someone like that is believe in yourself first, which is extremely hard to look that person in the mirror and say, this is a foreign territory, but I'm stepping out on the boat. Man, I see the water down there. It look kind of deep. I know
mhm,
I could probably drown. Statistically speaking, if I step out of this boat right here, I'm gonna be under that water.
mhm,
But you got to do that sometimes. You got to step out on faith and just go. Like, don't be timid. Don't put your toe in there. Like, nah, just go. Just do it, and do it to the extent of if I don't do this to the best of my ability, I'm not eating tonight.
mhm,
And that was kind of the position I was in. Like, at the time, I had a partner, supporting ex-wife. Um, so there was that support there somewhat. We'll say that. But then on the other side, it's like, dude, you're the man of the house at the end of the day. And I'm not just speaking to men, but it's like you have to go out and earn. And if this is what you're gonna do it to the best of your ability. I can't half ass anything. I gotta go at it. And if you're in that pivotal moment, we're in the world now where, like, I had to do this in 2012. We're in the world now where you have so many advantages and tools. Again, the AI is a tool. There's so many different tools available now to where you can be successful in almost any industry because you have research at the tip of your fingers. You can go look up, hey, I'm about to do this business, whatever this business is. Act as a 20-year expert in this field. Give me a strategy for success for the next 3 to 6 months. I am a complete novice at this. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the amount of money I want to be able to make. These are the kind of clients that I like to work with. Can you create some language for me that I need to start speaking about on social content and language for a website or a landing page that I need that's going to make me successful in this industry? It's a quick prompt, but it'll give you a blueprint, like a somewhat of a foundation from you knowing absolutely nothing about the industry that you want to get into to now having an outline. And that's another thing. Like, hey, chat, can you put this in bullet point? Make this easy, make this step by step process easy to read for me. And then you have something to look at to say, okay, I don't know how to do this at all. This is a completely brand new industry for me. I've never done this before, but now I have something to look at step by step that's going, if I follow this, if I just do it, I might be successful. I could follow all of this and it might not work. But if I wake up the next day, I'm good because I can just wake up and put another idea in there and get something else going. That's why I always say, like, AI is a tool. Just use it to the best of your ability, to the best of its abilities, because that's what it's there for, and try to make it work. If you're going to step out and do something, I would just say do it. Like, just go do it. There are thousands of other graphic designers in Philly and photographers and creatives and stuff like that. I have no problem getting business. And that's not coming from a place of arrogance. This is coming from a place of I put my foot down in anything I'm doing. I want to make the best possible thing from whatever obstacle is sitting in front of me. You got to have that same kind of, that kind of feeling. It's like your name is attached to this. So it's like whatever you had, that's your thing. So you want to own your thing, whatever that thing is for you. And one of the other key pieces of information I would say from that I've learned over the years working with people. Another shout out to CJ that works with ET. Find the gaps. You want to come out as a graphic designer. Okay, what areas in graphic design aren't being capitalized on? You see people doing, this, and this. Okay, how can you add a little bit of extra value? What can you do that the next person isn't doing? That's the gap. When you have that gap and you're doing something that you love doing, just go do it. Put an offer out there, put a price on it. Price yourself according to your talent and skill level. Don't outprice yourself, but price yourself accordingly. And then when you know that you got some, what I'm saying, you got something with you, that's when the price goes up. And then you just keep progressing from there. And um again, just going back to doing it to the best of your ability, you're going to get the results you're looking for. And when you're working with people, they're going to say, oh, wow, this is great. I'm going to refer you to X amount of, my friend needs this as well. Then you start building up that word of mouth. That's how I did it. We're in the world now of ads. You can run an ad. Ask ChatGPT, like, hey, I need to run an ad. How do I do that? You can
We
go,
had a whole conversation about ads the other day.
yeah, you can
That's
ask
how
Chat.
I think that's how we ended up talking again.
Yeah, yeah, yep. You asked me about ads, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. But you can go on YouTube, and someone will show you how to create and set up an ad account. Then you can ask ChatGPT, hey, what should I be doing? Use the AI as a tool. If you're listening, do not be intimidated by it. It was created as an assistance piece for whatever we're doing. And like I get it. It's a foreign world for a lot of people. It was foreign to me. I didn't initially I didn't jump into that wave of ChatGPT. Nikki did. You see where she is with it. I didn't dive in like everybody else. I signed up. The initial hype was there, but I didn't keep going with it. I didn't adapt and, keep trying to teach it who I was so it could learn and speak for it. But now I got it.
Game changer.
If I did it back then, I would probably be a world away from where I'm at now. But now, yeah, you got to use that stuff. You got to use it as a tool to enhance what you already know. And if it's something that you don't know, it's a fast track to learning it. And just go, man. Just go.
Yes. Before we go, tell everybody where they can find you and how they can work with you.
You can find me everywhere at Just Nick Rich. That's my screen name. Just at the word just and Nick Rich. I've had people call me Justin over the year. I'm like, no, it's just Nick Rich. It's not what it is. It's just Nick Rich. Because I want people to think like, no, it's just Nick Rich. Because for a while, it was Nick Rich Graphics. I switched it up because I don't just do graphics anymore. I had to expand. Work with me. Go fill out the contact form on my website, iamnickrich.com. That's the letter nickrich.com. My portfolio is on there. I got a contact form. Zip me up. Let's work.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir. Well, this concludes our recording, and I'm about to hit stop, but thank y'all for coming through. Y'all
Thank
have a
y'all.
great
Thank y'all.